NERDSoul.
Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? We got trailers. We gonna have some fun. You go and hit that like, subscribe, all that jazz. Share it to your peoples. Be like, hey, mama, watch this because we talking about trailers. And we are not by ourselves. I'm joined by not only a master podcaster, but an awesome writer and a very cool Star Wars fan, someone who also breaks down the thoughts and ideas of those with crazy opinions on Twitter. I give to you, Jay Sherer. What's up?
Hey, what's up? You know what? You might have to call me Darth J after this show because I want to join Ray Stevenson's crew after seeing this Ahsoka trailer. This looks amazing.
So yeah, let's go in and get into it. We have Ahsoka, brand new trailer. We get to see a whole bunch of stuff and a lot of knowledge. Where do you want to go first with this trailer? Because we get a lot in here.
You know what? I think we can talk about. I think we can spend the next half an hour talking about how cool the Rebel blue uniforms with the white helmets and the white boots are. We might need a whole half an hour dedicated to that. No, this is. I mean, look. There's so many places we could go. We could talk about the relationship to Rebels. We can talk about all the Rebels characters that show up here. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I just am kind of stunned that it looks this good. Not that I thought that it would look bad, right? But Disney's been a little bit hit or miss on their Disney Plus shows recently, and this looks like a for sure hit. What about you? What do you think?
I'm like, and I might have to agree on that Ray Stevenson thing. He looks very not crazy bad, but a very intense bad. Yes. Like it seems like his apprentice might be on the crazy side, but he looks like a very no, I'm very clear about what I want. Like I'm a bad guy, but I'm very clear about what I want and I mean what I say kind of thing. But as far as the look, yes. It looks like a very good meshing of kind of that Rebels crew when it's coming into this and bringing it into the, I guess you could say, the Mandalorian sort of palette, if you will. Mm-hmm. But as an addition to Star Wars, if we're getting the sort of the look into this and this is going to kind of reflect the whole show, I'm loving it. Like Ahsoka already looks good. Sabine looks great. Hera looks good. It is weird seeing Hera because I'm so used to the animated Hera, but she looks great. The ships look awesome. Like, just, man, we have come so far on the effect side. And then my favorite Star Wars villain, Thrawn, looks incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with this. The effects look great. And there's so many kind of small details that we get, I guess, a little inkling of that makes this trailer really work for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Thrawn looks like Elon Musk took Twitter blue too far.
You know what? Man. I can see that.
Yeah. This is a crack up. But no, I mean, I think you're right. You're 100% right. I mean, the special effects look unbelievable. I don't know how much of this is going to be filmed in the volume. I'm assuming a bunch of it is. But that crew that originally started with the volume, being Favreau and Filoni, really has figured out, even Bryce Dallas Howard, they've really figured out how to use it correctly. Because you can see the volume used sometimes where it's like, this all looks so fake. Like Quantumania, for example.
Like Quantumania
this does not look good.
Well, the thing that saved Quantumania for me visually is I was like, well, we are in the quantum realm, so since we're in this different realm, I'll allow it to look a little video gamey. Yes. So I'll kind of let that slide a little bit. But in something like this, no, it's a little harder for me to let it slide because this is supposed to be, I mean, I know it's a galaxy far away, but it's supposed to be realish looking, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And like,
and you talked about like Hera and Sabine, like I think that they look amazing. And I'm not like, so just so everyone listening knows, I'm maybe like 2 seasons into Rebels. I'm not like, I have not watch all of it yet. I'm still working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a little bit of spoilers in the trailer for me because I had no clue that Sabine was actually training to be a Jedi. Does that ever come up in Rebels?
Well, it does, but the way they bring it up, I was like, I didn't know she was training to be a Jedi. And see, when you, it's hard. Okay, so she comes in contact with the Darksaber later on, and that'll set her off on some lessons in this, that, and the third. I'm trying to like tell you a little more without spoiling everything, but the way, and I mean, if you're watching this, please check me if I'm wrong, but the way I perceived it is that yes, she was learning about the Darksaber itself, but she didn't, to me at least, seem to be going into, I guess, Jedi training. It was more just learning about the sword and utilizing the sword, but not the Jedi side. But now in this, it looks like maybe there was a step into the Jedi side, I guess, with Ahsoka later on after the show, because this is tough since you haven't watched it. All right, so at the end of the show, her and Ahsoka do go off together.
Okay.
So
So
I'm assuming she, maybe since she had already kind of dipped her toe into it, maybe she wanted to learn more. And then of course being around a Jedi all the time, or I know she doesn't call herself a Jedi, but if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. Come on, man, you're a Jedi. I would. Sure. I mean, she's my favorite Jedi. She's, at least up to this point, she's the only one that does what needs to be done because it needs to be done. She's always doing, what's right, because and until they want to pull her back in The Mandalorian and be like, oh no, we want to do what we do with all the dumb Jedis, and like be like, oh no, I don't want to help. It's like, no, like that's not the character you made. But anyway, slide that to the side. Her being her apprentice was like a revelation to me, because I was like, what? Did I miss something? But
okay. So it's not just me. It's just me. I didn't fully get it either. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because they were definitely hanging together, but I didn't get the gist, or I didn't get the impression that she was becoming her apprentice. So there's some extra history back there that we can, draw upon, which will be cool. So I'm happy about that. Also, the trailer shows that lady from Mandalorian season 2 that I thought Ahsoka killed her. Is that who that is?
Oh, no way. Okay.
I thought she killed that lady.
I forgot. I saw that lady and I go, she looks familiar, but I forgot. You're 100% right. She was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she killed her. But I mean, someone tell me, or unless this is a situation where they're at that nexus of time where they bring her back or something, I don't know. Yeah, because they are talking about like immense power, and they're talking about not only immense power, but they're talking about like bringing Thrawn in, and that brings a whole new wrinkle into all this. The only because Ray Stevenson's character says power as such as you've never dreamed. That's so right. It could be that they've already started kind of playing with this time thing and like messing around with it maybe, but I guess that's another mystery that'll have to be solved then.
Yeah. Or this could be a flashback to them going back to see that lady before he meets her.
So they could be throwing a swerve on us.
Yeah.
Also, random, I like to see Sabine in the speeder going super fast, sliding under stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I know this show is already done in film, but I mean, I would love a chase scene, I mean, not through the woods, switch it up, but I mean, I'd love to see a chase scene on these speeders. I mean, sure, go for it.
Yeah. And the wall, the painting with that Sabine walks up to that has all of the characters drawn in chalk, but they look like they're the Rebels characters. That's genius.
Yeah. Like the way the likeness is awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's really perfect. And I mean, look, there's so many interesting things that they've already pointed out. Like There's a line from Balin, which is Ray Stevenson's character, R.I.P. Ray Stevenson, by the way. Yeah. But there's a line from him where he says, he tells Ahsoka, Anakin speaks highly of you. And I go, ooh, this dude knew Anakin. So how did he know Anakin? How is he connected back all the way to Anakin? And will we?
And also, he said he speaks, meaning like present tense.
Yeah, exactly. So are we going to see Anakin in this series?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, hold on. At this point, Anakin isn't Anakin anymore. Or is this a situation where Balin was a Jedi? Because he does make a big distinction when he stabs that guy, like, we are not Jedi. So maybe, Balin was a Jedi and was like, look, the Empire is what I want to be, a part of.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. But he does say it in present tense, meaning like right now he speaks highly. So, and since we know this is after their battle that they have, that I don't think you might have seen yet, but, but since we know this is after their battle, it's like, that's a lot of respect coming from Darth Vader being like, hey, he speaks highly of you. So that's actually kind of cool. And hopefully we can get more into that. I mean, of course, we don't want Darth Vader to take over the show, but it would be cool to get some insight into maybe Balin and Anakin's relationship, or maybe how Anakin feels right now, since we are after the Obi-Wan series or still before it. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look at the timeline again. Because I think we're still before the Obi-Wan series, maybe. But no, I think we might be after it. But because I'm trying to think of the age of Leia at the time. But there's so much to get from this, even with like the two apprentices kind of going at it. And the Nexus of Time battle where, Ahsoka is there with Balin. There's a lot for us to like dig into and enjoy outside of just the looks. So this is Star Wars is doing basically what I'm enjoying from Star Trek. Is we're getting a lot of shows. We're not it looks like both of them have kind of gone to the shows and kind of like, I guess, stepped away from the movies really. But if you look on the Trek side, we got like 4 or 5 shows. I enjoy. I know people love Picard. It didn't really work out for me, but there's still like 3 or 4 other shows that I like of that. And then on this side, I enjoyed Andor. I enjoyed Mandalorian. Ahsoka looks like it's going to be quality. So like we're getting a lot of good stuff on Disney Plus, at least from the TV side of Star Wars. So we look, as far as genre fans, sci-fi, sci-fantasy, like we're eating right now. You got Chopper in there going crazy. We're seeing a little bit of Mon Mothma. Like come on, y'all. Like we're getting good stuff.
You even have hologram Ezra in there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I was like, so it looks like she's looking at an older recording.
That's what I was thinking.
But I was trying to, since she's so small in that, I was trying to see how old or young he looked, because it was so small and it was such a quick clip. It was like hard to make out how old he looked. Right. Because is Ezra back? Did they like it? Oh yeah, I forgot, man. I'm sorry, man. You gotta watch the show.
No, it's all good because I've already been spoiled for it so many times. Like
because it's like talking about this. It's hard to like talk about this, especially when they're putting this exact characters in there.
Exactly.
Now we did see can't remember his name now. Zeb. We saw Zeb in Mandalorian. He was just kind of hanging out. So maybe he'll come in on this too. Maybe.
That would be awesome. I mean, they have the model. Why not use it, right?
Yeah, they got the model. Let's go ahead and use it. And it looks like the rest of the crew is getting back together. So, I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be much for, Hera to put out a call and say, hey, Zeb, look, we're back at it.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point about it seeming like a good Disney Plus show, The thing that I've always basically, this is how I'm judging Disney Plus shows at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If it feels like they gave the creators time to make what they wanted to make, then it turns out to be a great show. If it feels like they rushed it, like they rushed Kenobi, like it or dislike it, they rushed Kenobi, they rushed season 3 of Mandalorian, they rushed Boba Fett. All of those were rushed. All of those got lukewarm reception, right? Some people don't like it, some people do like it, but overall lukewarm. But the ones that they take their time with, and it looks like this one, they took their time with it, those come out really legit. So I'm very positive about Ahsoka right now.
Yeah, very. I'm glad we have it. Like, I don't think I've seen anything from it that I thought did not look good.
Agreed.
So I'm like, let's go, let's get it, let's see some more. Let's get all of the cool, shots and everything. I wish that we could go to a different release structure, but I understand why, because they're trying to keep people coming back to their service, every week. But it's a new day, man. It's a new day. We got to let that go, or at least do something where you give us like 2 episodes a week or something like that. Like this it's just not. We can't do that no more. We don't want to do that.
At least they said it's a 2-episode premiere, right? So at least
so at least we do have that. But I'm definitely like, look, we need 2 episodes, at least 2 episodes a week. I would be down with that. 2 episodes a week. I could work with that. I could be like, what? Okay, two episodes a week. That's cool.
I think they could commit to commit to 45 minutes to 50 minutes every week, right? Because like the bummer about the Star Wars shows is when you come across like a 35-minute episode and you're like, wait, what happened here? Why is it 35 minutes with the credits? It doesn't make any sense. I think as long as they stick to a more consistent, longer episode, then I'm usually okay with it. Like Andor comes through with almost all their episodes are 45 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much all their episodes are long.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's enough time to do the story justice and not leave us hanging or not leave us with like a side story. And they just made one episode a side story. Like, I don't know why, but that's why they chose to give us that one. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind the release schedule. I don't. It's weird. We see everybody's doing something different. Like Netflix is still doing their binge stuff. Like Witcher season 3 just came out and it's like 5 episodes released, and then we're gonna get 3 episodes next month or whatever. So I'm not sure why Disney Plus is sticking to this particular, but I think you're right. I think it's because they want
like Disney's doing it, Paramount Plus is doing it. I think HBO is doing it, or HBO Max or Max now,
whatever it's called. Yeah.
Like, exactly. Look, give me the whole season 3 of Warrior right now. Then I can knock it out in a Saturday and I can be happy. I can go back and watch more if I want, but I mean, like, I want to finish the story now. It's very similar to with like comic books. That's why I don't buy single issues anymore. And due to the way, I guess, media is consumed, that might be another reason why floppies are slowly declining. Or some would say rapidly. It hasn't been looking good for floppies. At if you look on the other side, stuff like trades have been increasing, and or look at like manga or something like that, because people want at least a beginning and end of at least this arc. Give me like 5 issues. Give me, like a beginning and a semi-end at least. Like the 20 pages, 30 pages ain't cutting it no more. People want to they want more out of their story. I was just at my buddy Daryl Smith, who used to be a co-host of the StreetGeek podcast. Mm-hmm. He was just in town. He's on a family vacation. He just swung by town. He's like, hey, you want to go to a comic book store? I hadn't even been to a comic book store in my area yet, and I go, yeah, let's do it. I go to the comic book store. I'm looking around. I'm like, I can't get into any of this stuff because there's no way I can keep paying you $5 a week. Like that's just excessive. And then come on, we're gonna be in a recession before you know it. Even the trades that are all put to whatever it is, like a 100-page story. No, man, like I can't do that right now.
I can't do that. I can't spend that kind of money.
Well, I'd argue that we've been in a recession ever since like the end of 2020. But I know financial people are like, no, we're close, but we're not there. I'm like, I think we're there. But I went to every bookstore or comic book store I've gone to in I don't know the last maybe 5-6 years, and I've been checking in with a couple of other people too that like still own comic book shops. They're like trades are definitely moving more than they used to, and floppies are kind of sitting around. So it's just, I guess it's because when you have more of that kind of video on demand kind of thing where you can kind of binge, it's like, hey, I want to pick up this book and read 50 to 100 pages right now. I don't want to read 20 pages and then wait for next month and then get 20 more pages. It's like, look, just give me the whole thing now. Yeah. Or give me a larger chunk now.
Yes.
So yeah, that's our suggestions for you, Disney Plus. Those are our suggestions. So I'll move on, Disney. I'll leave y'all alone because it's Warner Brothers time. That's right. It's Warner Brothers time. That's right, everybody. There's a young man that's just trying to live his life. Jaime Reyes, he's just chilling, kicking it with his family, not doing too much. And next thing you know, he's presented with a scarab, and that scarab makes him into the Blue Beetle. And the first trailer, I was already on board. It looks like a fun ride. It looks like it's going to be a popcorn time. And the new trailer that's out, I will say, I'm impressed. This looks like it's going to be like, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is going to be the best comic book movie like The Flash was, but but this does look like it's going to be a fun time. I did notice something in this trailer that they didn't show in the first one, which is a lot of him in the suit but not his mask on. I'm like, man, don't do that, please. Don't do that corny thing. But because they don't do that, just put the mask on. It's okay. Like you don't see Pedro doing that. Pedro's like, yo, let me put on this mask. Let me be the Mandalorian.
That's right.
And
That's right.
You don't see him like, I gotta have my face in every shot. Like it's just, but still, this does look like a fun time, and I do like the kind of, I don't know, maybe not as far as like Miss Marvel, but this kind of like youthful exuberance around it. I do like that. But you just saw the trailer recently. You just checked it out like, I don't know, maybe about an hour ago. How you feeling about Blue Beetle?
So here, I feel I was the same as you after the first trailer, because I felt like it was going to be a really fun story. It was going to be kind of like Ant-Man, where it's comedy. There's a lot of comedy mixed in with the action. And I thought that was cool, like kind of Spider-Man type. It's a kid who's, a reluctant hero, but he's learning how to be a hero. I liked all that when it was focused on him. This trailer, I don't know. This trailer didn't excite me as much because it showed too much of
Susan
Sarandon. Yeah, exactly. It was like, you know what it felt like? It felt like it was like, oh, wait a minute. Is this going to be like Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3, where it's like, this is just the basic story of any superhero that we saw in the like 2000s.
Here's the I guess the evil government corporation. They're making robots or something, and you got to stop them.
Exactly. So it felt like that a little bit more. I think these trailers look best when they're focused on the family and the kid trying to learn how to do the right thing. That all is looks cool to me. Now, yeah. I will say that the villain that works under Susan Sarandon, that guy seems cool too. And I don't know how that's going to work out, how those two are going to play. But like, if you want to talk top tier, then you got to go to what we saw in Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, where you bring in like Miles Morales' uncle, and it's like, oh my gosh, like that what he has to deal with now, like that kind of stuff where it's really personal to the character looks really good. But bringing the Susan Sarandons of the world, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little done with this.
I will say, when I saw Susan, I was like, what? I was like, all right, okay, I'm not against Susan, so I mean, I guess that's all right. But it did surprise me when I was like, we're seeing a lot of Susan. I hope we're just seeing a lot of like 2 scenes.
Yes.
And she's really gonna be a smaller part of seeing this kid and his family kind of become the superhero support team, similar to like Miss Marvel. Because one thing that I like that we have baked into this is we don't have someone who's like, I have to hide it from everyone. If I just put on some glasses, nobody will notice me. Like that kind of thing. Like his whole family knows, and his family is funny. Like like the girl that was like, I forgot how nasty it looked on your back, like that kind of thing. Like, and so George Lopez, I'm not a super fan of him, but I'm willing to. He's always seemed kind of cheesy to me, but I'm willing to go along with this because them playing together as a unit, like as a family unit, it is working for me in this trailer. And then him dealing with the actual scarab, and it kind of like sort of, I guess, working with him and teaching him is something that I think is cool too. Have you seen Young Justice and his depiction on Young Justice before or no?
No, I haven't.
All right,
I like literally know nothing about this character.
All right, so Jaime Reyes in Young Justice, which I think might be his only animated version, but I will say I prefer that Scarab voice to kind of the turn-by-turn direction lady. I don't know. She just sounds like the Google Assistant voice. I think, I don't know. And maybe someone in the comments that's watching this can, let me know what they think about the voice. I do prefer the animated Scarab voice more, because the animated Scarab voice, and I know the animated Scarab voice is a guy. It doesn't matter to me whether it's a guy or a girl, but it had less of a robot-y feel and more of a sort of like it's definitely a AI kind of feel, but with more, I guess, charisma, attitude, or something like that, maybe. And it definitely was not trying to teach Jaime. It was more on the like, let me shoot him. Let me kill him. And Jaime's like, hold on. So it's like, look, let me use the weapons. So, but besides that, the actual effects of the suit look incredible.
Pretty good, yeah.
Because I thought the suit was going to look hard.
Yeah. It's definitely that voice you're talking about is basically Siri or Alexa became self-aware, and it was like, okay, we're gonna move forward with this, Yeah, I think the suit looks great. I totally agree with you with George Lopez, by the way. Like, George Lopez has never had a director be like, hey, you need to like bring more energy to this. He's always doing too much. It's like, calm down, George.
I hope they didn't I hope there aren't any scenes where it's clear they were like, oh yeah, George, just wing it, do whatever you want. It's like, no.
Yeah, stick to the script, but
reel him in.
That's right.
This is Zolo's movie. You guys are here to support him. You already have the stupid beard and the hair. Like, just let him do his thing.
He's doing his impression of the Mongolian from Iron Man 3 or whatever. No, but I think you're right. Like, this actor, I don't know this actor. You said his name is Zolo?
Yeah, he's Miguel from
yeah, I do know this actor then.
From
Karate he's bulked up a little bit. Yeah, from Cobra Kai.
From Cobra Kai.
So that kid's great. Like, and by the way, he seems great in the trailers. Like,
that's why he was gone for like half a season.
Oh, no way. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't even recognize him because he's grown up a little bit. He looks.
Yeah, he's definitely definitely bigger here.
Yeah, he's gonna do a phenomenal job. Like he's already every scene he's in, he plays how he's supposed to play it. When he's confused, he's funny confused. Like this is very much like a Venom story, right? Like it's very similar. Like okay, like how much do I control versus how much does the Venom control? You know, and he plays it so much better than. And I love Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors, but Tom Hardy when he's playing in Venom is like.
He just wasn't the right guy.
No, he's just not the right guy. It feels like Tom Hardy is being abused by Venom, and he's just like it's just like not fun to watch. But like this is like the kid is like, wait a minute, hang on a second, like I'm trying to figure this out, and then the AI is like, I'm gonna try to teach you how to do it, the scarab or whatever. So I think that this is gonna work really, really well, and the interplay between them is far better than what we got from Venom. So. I think you're right. Definitely. It's gonna be good from that point. From that standpoint, this kid is gonna nail it.
Yeah, because in the first trailer, you get that point where at the end he makes that huge kind of like Final Fantasy sword, and I was like, oh yeah. So that coupled with her saying, you know, whatever you imagine, I can make it. It's like, yes, we're gonna get like some crazy stuff because. You know what I'm saying? He's a young kid who knows how many movies and anime he's watched. So he's going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Can you make this? Can you make that? You know, like those kind of things. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. What is it? There's a sad part about this in the movie. I mean, in the trailer where I'm watching it, where I'm like, yeah, okay. So this looks cool. But where does this fall, if at all, in the new DC plan? Because it could have got smashed out, but it didn't. So they did release this. So I wonder if they're just like, hey, look, we had already given it a date, fine, we'll just release it, or if they're gonna go in and let it be part of whatever the new. Because when James Gunn announced his newer stuff, he didn't add this in. So I wonder if they're doing a wait and see. Like, hey, if this makes money, it can stay. Or they're just like, hey, we already said it was coming out. You know, this was probably the most ready besides The Flash, so we'll let this release and then we're done. Because I also don't want to invest into this if it's not going to matter.
Well, see, this is the problem that DC has. I mean, like, Flash bombed at the box office. And it had Tom Cruise saying how great it was. I mean, what in the world is happening in a world where we were relying on Tom Cruise to tell us what movies we should go see? But like,
well, I mean, if he's talking about his movie, then you're fine. Like Mission Impossible is awesome.
That's right. As long as he's promoting his own movies.
Yeah, if he's like, if I'm in it, no.
Yeah, I don't feel like. Look, DC had a big problem on its hands, and that problem was what we're currently doing isn't working. However, it's going to take 3 years for us to get any new content in theaters. So we have one of two options. We hire James Gunn and do not tell anybody for the next 2 years and let him start working on projects and just see what happens. Or we announce right now that James Gunn is now taking everything in a new direction, even though we've got 3 or 4 films coming out this year, and that's going to be a problem because most of those will not be connected to whatever James Gunn does in the future. So
kind of like dead in the water, sort of.
Totally dead in the water. So the movie has to be pretty amazing on its own merits. Like, it just has to be perceived as being an amazing film without any other films surrounding it. And so I think we should kind of expect, because like I saw Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and it was a good film. I haven't seen Flash, but I've heard that, you know, some people don't like it, but for the most part, people think it's a good film. And I think that we should expect that Blue Beetle will do very poorly, even if it is a good film. Like, we can't judge it based on its box office, because the reality is people are not going to show up and say, I'm going to invest in something that is clearly dead, right?
Yeah, and I like for instance, Black Adam, I really dug Black Adam. But there's a lot of people that do not like it, can't stand it.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, this is DC finally giving me what it needs to. Let a superhero be a superhero. I don't care about like oh, it's so hard to be a hero, and like I don't care about that. And Jason Reeves, he was like, notice he goes to super speed as a go-to. He doesn't hold himself back. He's like, oh, you're human, I'm not. Super speed, you dead. Like he just like this, like The Rock basically said, look, I'm going to take what I learned in WWE and put it in a movie, and it's awesome. Now, at the same time, is this thing going to get an Oscar for like cinematography or something? No, but does the movie kick butt? Yes. Like this movie is, it's like, all right, y'all ready to fight? Let's fight. And they do what superheroes should do. Now, I know people will complain and say, Michael, you're wrong. Open any superhero comic book, and that's what you get. You get fighting from page 1 to page 22 or whatever it is. And so he gave us a comic book movie. Now, of course, I know people are going to be like, it doesn't match the rest of the whatever, but it's like, what does match? They had like 8 CEOs in like 2 years.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
DC had like I don't know, 8, 9 CEOs. I don't know how many times they didn't change. What AT&T bought them, then Discovery bought them. Who knows? Someone else might buy them. Like, it just seems, it's weird because it seems like a slam dunk. Like, I'm sure I could give the idea of DC properties to just about any person that really cares about these characters, and they could just sit down and outline a good 10 movies that could make a lot of sense and be a lot of fun to watch. But it seems like they just, I don't know, man, they just be messing it up. But least here, it does seem like we're going to get something fun.
Yes.
Something fun.
I agree.
Hopefully less Susan.
yeah, please let Susan. Don't show us Susan.
I don't want a lot of seriousness. I want this kid to have fun. Similar to Miss Marvel, which is something that I loved about Miss Marvel, is like she's also having fun. She's like enjoying being a hero.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess people could say she's not weighed down by being 30, 40, maybe close to 50. Life has weighed her down. Maybe that's it. But I mean, it is good to see someone who's like excited. And then her family is excited.
Yeah.
So it's just fresh. It's a fresh feeling, outside of something like Batman, where it's like, I get it. You look real cool, but I'm so tired of like it's all dark. I can't barely see the screen. Just mean and sad all the time. Like it'd be great to see somebody who's happy. So I do like that. And I want to know how you feel about the body horror in this, which I think is kind of cool, but it is a weird juxtaposition to, I guess, the feel of the family stuff. Because when the first transformation, that's definitely some body horror. And then in this trailer where you see like the bad guy that has the red suit, where like the little, like, I guess the tentacles or whatever going into his arm, that looks very painful and scary. Like he's even kind of like grunting and screaming during it. So it's like, I think that's cool, but does it work for you as a juxtaposition from the like the happy family kind of stuff, or how do you feel about that?
Well, that's a really good question. I didn't see it as body horror, and I'm not that sensitive to body horror most of the time, because like I know some people are, right? Some people are like, oh man, if I see this, like if I see Igor or something like that, like I just can't watch it. I don't feel that way generally. Here's the you need to have some form of conflict. You need to have to give something up in order to gain the functionality of the superpowers, right? Like if it's just like, hey, you get superpowers, there's no consequences, just do whatever you want to, there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no conflict,
no pain, no gain.
Yeah, it just doesn't work as well. Like there has to be some sort of implication to being able to do some of the things that you're able to do, and that could come from stuff that's not related to body horror at all, like Batman's trauma of losing his parents, or Superman, the trauma of losing his adopted father. it can come from a lot of different places, but there has to be something that grounds you in the humanity of like, okay, these are real people experiencing real things. So if that includes a little bit of body horror where it's like, yeah, the suit is painful for me to have to wear to transform into Blue Beetle, I still think that that's okay. I don't think that I don't see any issues with that from my side.
All right, cool. So yeah, man, with that, I'd say that these are 2 trailers that came out today that I'm generally positive on. There's not too much that I'm hating from these trailers. I mean, Susan, I'm kind of just making fun of Susan because it's Susan and it's Susan, like, I mean, I don't even know what her character's name is, but her character's name is just Susan. It's Susan, the government lady, or Susan, the the big corporate lady, but hopefully, with the way this villain turns out, maybe at least from what we see, hopefully we get a lot of character from him and a lot of backstory from him, because he looks like he might be one of those kind of tortured soul kind of guys. So that would be kind of interesting to play against this young, happy, charismatic character.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who was like, hey, I was super, about the army and everything, and then I got involved in this, and like, look at what they've done to my body, but there's nothing else I can do now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe that's it. Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, these were good. I think for me, the Ahsoka trailer is about as good of a trailer as you could show me. Like, in my opinion, that's a 9.5 out of 10. If the Man of Steel trailer is a 10 out of 10, which I believe is true, then this is a 9.5 out of 10. This is a fantastic trailer. The Blue Beetle trailer, I prefer the first trailer. I was more hyped about the movie after the first trailer than the second trailer, so I'll give the second trailer a 5.5 out of 10. There's still some things in there I like, but I liked more of the stuff we saw in the first trailer.
Yeah, I like the first trailer as well. I think it's because Susan was just messing it up.
She was not in it. Yeah. Susan and George, man. What happened?
See that? So I'll throw it over to you. What are your final thoughts on either trailer or both of them, and where can they find you?
Well, like I said, looking forward to Ahsoka. Can't wait. We got a month and a half or so left. We'll see it. I'm stoked on it. I'm in. I'm bought in. I'll be watching night 1. I haven't even watched Secret Invasion yet. That's like how not excited I am about Marvel. But I'm still excited about Star Wars when Star Wars shows up with good stuff. So I'm in for that. Blue Beetle, to be honest with you, it might be a rental. It might be a rental or even a streaming view for me after the second trailer. I'm not sure. There's too many things coming out this summer that I got to spend money on, and I got to go see Oppenheimer. So I may not be spending my money on that. But you can find me at JSheer on Twitter. And then you can also find me on the Orange Grove 55 YouTube channel, hosting the Story Geeks podcast. Well, it's really a Story Geeks show at this point. It's more of because we do it. It's all video, so it's kind of a video podcast. And then you can also check out we're filming a movie this year. We're filming a short film this year that I wrote called No Vacancy. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We're going to be filming that later this year. So hopefully, probably around winter time, I'll be able to release that to folks on YouTube and everybody can start watching it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So final thoughts. Ahsoka, I'm definitely watching it. Blue Beetle, I'll probably be there. I'm probably going to be there.
All right.
Because I know I won't see Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer for me is a home watch. Even though this in Blue Beetle looks like a home watch, I know that there's certain things that are just going to be better on the big screen. So that's how they get me with these. But it might be one of the last ones because there's not too much else coming out. I'll probably go to see Turtles. See this.
Good.
And that might be it, because the summer season, well, if they would have spread out the summer season and not drop everything in June, but
that's true.
Like another thing, come on, Flash, like if y'all would have just waited until maybe August, but anyway, that might be it. So maybe Turtles, and then see this, and hopefully this is good. But if it is good, we know that this is going to be alone by itself. It's never like whatever post credit scene they have, we can just be like, hey, well, it's fun while it lasted. Like even the post credit scene for Black Adam, like having Superman come in, which is something that I thought would be cool because in general we don't get Superman and Black Adam being on, I guess you could say, speaking terms. So that could have been cool, but hey, got rid of that, got rid of that and threw it out. But yeah, if they drop another trailer and it's really good, I'll probably end up seeing this. But Turtles definitely. Ahsoka, I haven't seen anything from that has made me not like it. No Susan Sarandon, so I don't have to worry about. You know what? We should put Susan in Star Wars somewhere. Get Susan in there. She could be one of those people in Andor that's like mean, like she could just be like a mean, I don't know, administrator in the Empire somewhere. That'll work. Maybe that'll work. But of course, we're out of here. NERDSoul. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Check out Jay Sherer, especially on Twitter. He's talking all the time. And until the next Jedi attack, until the next Sith incursion, until the next Blue Beetle flight path goes through your street and knocks out your side view mirror. This is STU saying peace.